Bless you. This is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado. Dios lo bendiga. Este es Reverendo Dr. Gilberto Rosado, welcoming you to another broadcast. At this hour, we have our bilingual broadcast, our teaching in English and Spanish. So we ask that you be patient as we translate live on the fly between languages. Esta es la hora que damos la enseñanza en inglés y español y pedimos que tengas pues paciencia mientras que traduzcamos de un idioma al otro. Aproveche y aprende el otro idioma. While we're at it, you can learn the other language as well. Es un beneficio de sintonizarse con nuestro ministerio. It's a benefit, an added benefit I should add, of tuning in to our ministry. Statement is substantiated mainly. Welcome to everyone who is joining us right now. We're joining the crowd on Facebook and other venues at this moment. So we welcome you. We're in Exodus 21, going through Exodus 22, hopefully today. And we were just explaining that how Yahweh, how Jehovah is presenting certain concepts within a context that the Israelites, those Hebrews there at the mountain, had palpable knowledge of, that today we don't have, and the Christian church hasn't had in millennia. And so, but it still didn't avail them because of other factors, but still does not, in other words, that even though it didn't avail them, it was set that way. So in a sense, because of the nature of things, and we've been discussing since Genesis the first verse of the Bible is where this issue is established. So if you don't understand the relevance of Genesis 1:1 to Exodus 20 and now Exodus 21, you really don't understand the Bible. You are lost. Not spiritually speaking, but just intellectually speaking. Because Genesis 1:1 has everything to do with Exodus 20, the Ten Commandments. And simply, if you don't understand the relationship between Genesis 1 and the Ten Commandments, you really don't, you need to start over again because you're not understanding. Okay. And this is, again, the same thing that happened with with Israel. They just didn't get it. But they had the stuff, they were in the basis, the foundational realities to foster the understanding. In other words, it justifies God, if you will. God is justified in presenting these concepts at this time because the Israel had the stuff, the basis. They were slaves in Egypt. You see, now they're free. So you had the basis to now receive the law with understanding of what God is intending. Israel was in a world full of polytheistic thinking. Israel estaba en un mundo lleno de ideas o ideología politeísticas, las religiones politeísticas. Y no solamente eran religiones, era la ciencia en sí, era la falta de conocimiento del hombre y la búsqueda de resolver lo que no sabía el hombre. So we have not just the religious dichotomy between the polytheistic and now the new monotheistic religion of Israel, but we have that dichotomy between the religious reality at the time, which was what? If you were religious, if you had God, you had many gods. Every nation had many gods because simply religion was a was the filler material for science, lack of science, where science had its limit, then became uh, religion. Religion took over where science could not go into because they just didn't have enough. All people understood and accepted that there was gods for the rain and God for the sun and God of life and God of death and God of earth and God of heavens and God of this and God of that, the water and all that. Everything had a God. This was a main focal reality for many generations of human beings, all the way through the Roman times. You know, the Romans had many gods. So we're talking about many thousands of years of human development. Estamos hablando de muchos años de desarrollo humano. Desde el principio del hombre hasta los tiempos de romanas. Claramente, y los tiempos medievales aún, con los paganos todavía, y hasta el día de hoy que todavía hay religiones de otros dioses. You know, how they survive the Great Wall of China, right? You have to build the wall, it just got 10 feet higher. Because it preserved these ancient mentalities which were formed from lack of knowledge. Preservaron estas paredes como en la China, que preservó todavía hasta el día de hoy mucha idea politeístico. Vemos los hindú con sus dioses y sus sistemas antiguos de pensamientos carecientes de ciencia, porque de esto emana estas religiones de politeístas. So, y todos demandaban, ¿cómo se dice? Veneración. Y la veneración principal de todos común. No había ni uno que no tenía estatuas, ídolos. So the main demonstration, if you will, or outward demonstration of religiosity, common throughout all of ancient man, was the creation of imagery, images, statues, and the idols. Very important. If you were religious, you had idols. That's it. Simple. This is the sign of religiosity, of polytheism, of idolatry, has always and will always have some sort of idol involved. Now, today it can be a physical idol, but it can also be an emotional one. It can be an intellectual one. These are also idols. They're idolized. They are put, anything that replaces, that takes Yahweh's place in the mind and heart of man is an idol. By definition, those are idols. So whatever you are doing, instead of serving God, instead of putting God first any single moment of the day, you have found an idol. That is your idol. And you are an idolater. This is how easy it is to be an idol worshiper, to be in idolatry and to be an enemy of God. Es muy fácil ser enemigo de Dios, porque cualquier minuto que tú estás haciendo o venerando o dando importancia a cualquier otra cosa, sin dar el reconocimiento, el honor, la gloria, el respeto, el reconocimiento al Dios que hizo los cielos y la tierra, Jehová, Yahweh, como usted lo llama, pues eso es idolatría. Tú estás en una idolatría, estás cometiendo idolatría. Y así de tan fácil es caerse uno en idolatría. But we need to see the reverse, which is what's going on, what God is telling them to do in Exodus 20. Pero nosotros tenemos que ver el reverso que Dios le está diciendo en Éxodo 20. Él dice, no haga dioses a mí. See? He tells them, don't make idols. Don't make a statue of me. So in the context of religion, God is saying what? Don't make one. This is not a religion. And I did a little private secret scope yesterday, and I declared what it is. It says, this is what it is. It's not religion, it's what it is. In other words, it's the truth. This is the science, the thing behind the science. What is. See? Esto es lo que Dios está diciendo, que esto es. Esto no es religión. Esto no es, no es falta de conocimiento. Esto no es ciencia. Esto es la base de la ciencia. Esto es lo que es. ¿Sí? So that is the disqualified. He disqualified this whole experience. Even the law, which is shocking. Think about it. He's disqualifying the law as a religion. This is not a religion. And I know that most of the intellectually, those who are intellectual, who are law keepers, you know, they would have struggled with what I just said, but they have to admit, you know, I'm right. This transcends religiosity. This transcends, goes beyond religion. Esto transcende religiosidad, la ley. Muchos de los que piensan de la ley, que hay que obedecer la ley, tienen problemas con cómo yo hablo. Porque ellos lo tienen religiosamente, lo observan, lo reverencian religiosamente. Pero intelectualmente, los que son así, pues reconocen que la ley transciende, sobrepasa religión. Eso es lo que Dios está diciendo. Esto no es religión. No haga de esto una religión. No me haga estatua. Porque esto es lo que es. Esto es lo que ustedes están pensando. ¿Qué es esto? Y las preguntas y de cómo se creó la tierra, cómo vinimos a formarnos, cómo cae la lluvia del aire, de lo invisible, cómo es el día y la noche, la muerte, la vida, toda esta cuestión aún no es nacido en ciencia. La ciencia solo cubre y nos da entendimiento, conocimiento. Pero la base de todo esto es lo que es. O sea, la realidad. Dios. Génesis 1:1. En el principio creó Dios los cielos y la tierra. So this is just the basis for what is, the reality. And the reality is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. So don't make Exodus 20 a religion. And don't look at it religiously, which is what many people do. See? And that is the dichotomy even they have in their own spirit, if you will, that, you know, they're taught this. It's almost brainwashing, and you have to be careful. If you are a Sabbath keeper and you are a, Ten Commandment law keeper, you are vehement on following the law. Well, you have to be careful that you are not doing it religiously. Where you are actually make idolatry, make turning into an idol, because now You know, you got to understand, we're talking about mind here. That you can make an idol, replacing God, replacing the righteousness, listen now, that only comes from Jehovah. Le pedí que la gente están tomando la ley y el sábado como la justicia. Entonces están quitando el poder, la autoridad de la justicia, que solamente es de Dios, aún con la ley y con los decretos. Dios dice, yo soy el que justifico, no es la ley. ¿Sí? Pero los que practican, los que están idolatrizando, porque eso es lo que están haciendo, la ley y el sábado, pues tienen problemas porque entienden religiosamente, humanamente, a idolatrizar aún la ley, y está mal. Porque eso no fue el propósito. No hagas religión, no me hagas estatua. So, para hacerlo más sencillo, to make it more simply, if God wanted the Ten Commandments to be another religion, to be a religion, He would have told them, make a statue. Because this is a religion. Every other nation has it. Every other nation has a statue for their God. So for you to prove to me that I am your God in your mind and in your heart, then even you see it, even make me a statue. So that other nations know that I am your God. This is our God. He said no. And it wasn't because he wasn't their God. It was simply, this is not religion. This is not a man trying to get in good with God. This is not a lack of knowledge. So, el asunto es que no permitió que Israel construyera, que hiciese ídolo, porque no era porque él no era el Dios de ellos. Todas las demás naciones tenían sus ídolos. You know, ¿por qué no? ¿Por qué Dios no quiere que las demás naciones sepan, este es Jehová, esto es nuestro Dios, es Jehová? Son figuras representando a Dios. Entonces podemos enseñar a los niños, mira, este es Jehová, Jehová nos sacó de Israel. Es solamente un símbolo, un representante. ¿Por qué Dios no quiso eso? Ustedes tienen muchos dioses, pero nosotros tenemos este Dios. Este es el Dios más grande y poderoso que los que tienen ustedes. ¿No sería más fácil hablar a los otros personas, tenernos algo demostrado? Porque ¿qué van a decir las otras naciones? ¿Dónde está tu Dios? No vemos nada. You know? So, no, los demás naciones no van a glorificar a Dios. Porque no lo ven. Tú sabes que esto es un problema psicológico con el resto del mundo. So it creates a psychological issue because everyone, if you're talking about God, if God wants to be known to everyone in the world, and everyone in the world looks to these statues, to idols as to begin this story about what this God is and all of this, X, Y, Z, then why is God going to be playing around with people's minds? Why is God making it difficult for the world to know Him? And the fact is that God is not making it difficult for them to know Him But he is making it difficult for them to know him religiously as a religion. What God has said, what he's stating through this course of this nation forming process here, is that he and the relationship between him and man is not religion. Lo que Dios está diciendo aquí a través de la Biblia entera y en este procedimiento de desarrollar, iniciando esta nación ejemplar, santa, es que la relación entre el hombre y el Dios que hizo los cielos y la tierra no es religión. And now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very powerful truth. See? Because up to now, a lot of you respond. You guys are fooled by the enemy into thinking that you are in a religion, that you have a religion, when God forbids the relationship between him and man to be a religion. Because that's what he's done in Exodus 20. He said it. Do not make a statue. That means do not make this a religion. So if someone asks you, what is your religion? And you are a follower of Christ, or you're a follower of even Yahweh, if you are an Israelite, a true Israel, you do not have a religion. Usted no tiene religión si eres un hijo de Dios. Eso no es religión. Eso es relación. Tú tienes una relación, no religión. So what you have is a relationship, not a religion, which is for man to retie himself. No. All right. So, and that now, if illegal people, if the people who look at the law and the Sabbath would also realize that God did not establish a religion, and so having a religion is wrong. It's idolatrous. In fact, for you to have a religion today, even if you have Jehovah as your God, and even if you have Christ as your Savior, you are an idolater. Simply because in your mind and in your heart you see it as a religion. Sencillamente, si tú eres cristiano, si eres un hebreo, un israelita, y tú ves y tú crees, tú sientes que lo tuyo es religioso, pues entonces tú eres idólatra, sencillamente. Porque Éxodo 20 prohíbe que la relación de Dios y el hombre, entre Dios y hombre, sea religión. Lo prohíbe. Porque si entiendes el hecho de la estatua, ¿por qué no podían hacer ídolos? Eso es. Because for you to have a religion, you needed to have a statue. A statue. An idol. Without that, you had nothing. What do you have? I don't see no God here. You had nothing. And that is the basic concept that Yahweh, Jehovah, is speaking to. Do not make an idol of me in gold and silver. He already nixed the religion right in the bud. So, even though there are other characteristics that religions did that are in common with what God told them to do, the idol thing is the key one. Because that is indeed the absolute relational point of contact between any person venerating any god was that statue, right? That idol. That was their connection. That was their religion. And that's the exact point. See, God, when God speaks, He speaks right to the point. See, people don't get the point. Because you have to be using your brain and see. God goes right to the point. Dios habla directamente al grano. Nosotros tenemos que entender lo que Dios está refiriendo cuando dice esto. Cuando Él dice esto, ¿a qué se refiere? Está haciendo un directo, empuntando, ¿verdad? Directamente. Y lo que Dios está diciendo directamente con el oído, que no se haga, es que esto no es una religión. Bing. Done. Okay? But of course people would see it as the Israelites did. That this religion has no idols. And that was the mistake. That's the human thinking. See? This religion will have no idols. And that's where you lose everything, the main point of what Elohim is referring to from the beginning. This is not an issue of religion at all. It's an issue of truth, of fact. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's it. Okay, that is 100%, 1,000%, 10, 100,000, million, trillion % the truth. That's the absolute science at the end of the day. At the end of the universe, that is going to be the full revelation and understanding. Okay? Now we want to go slow poking our way there, then you guys go right ahead. Alright, let's get into the scripture. Amen. Vamos a entrar a la escritura. Here, again, as we go along, try to understand if we have any type of technical difficulty. Please forgive. And I don't know if you can forget, but each time there's always a reminder. So here we go with I thought I had set this up here in this other one, but I've neglected that one other point. So let's get these guys up and going here so I can see the screen. Alrighty. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, and let's get this down. Get thee down, for the people have corrupted themselves. Alrighty, guys. So, we were talking about the slavery thing and the Sabbath. Estamos hablando del sábado y de la esclavitud. Muy importante, right after the Ten Commandments, después de los 10 mandamientos, Nuah, remember, entonces no hagan esto una religión, right? La perspectiva, so we know that the perspective, don't make this a religion. This is about saving man, so cover your bottoms because underneath your garment, don't make a staircase, because then everyone's going to see what they weren't supposed to see and what Adam wasn't supposed to see, and that's because he was in sin. No, cúbrense, no hagan una escalera al altar, porque entonces van a ver su desnudez, y eso es el problema que tuvo Adán, que vio su desnudez. ¿Por qué? Porque pecó. Esto se dirige a salvar el hombre. El becerro y el cordero o la oveja, esto tiene que ver con salvación del hombre. Esto no es religión, esto es salvando el hombre. Y esto es lo que vino antes de esto. Entonces, inmediatamente después, no vea otro capítulo, porque la Biblia no fue escrito en capítulos. So remember that the Bible was not written in chapters. So don't forget that. It doesn't matter that we are now in Exodus 21, because that had nothing to do with anything. God just kept talking. So it's part of the same talking that God did. So it's the same moment. And after he finishes saying that this is about salvation, he goes right into talking about the servitude of a man, and he would work and slave for 6 years, and on the Shabbat year, in the 7th year, Shevilim, he would be set free, absolutely free. So understand that right before God is talking about this is about salvation. This is about covering from the nudity. So don't make a staircase to the altar. The altar is to be used to sacrifice the ox. The ox is a symbol for who? Right? And the sheep, the lamb, is a symbol for who? And then and that's what this is all about. This is about saving man. And now, right now, next thing we got to talk about is if you have a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years. So he goes right in after the setting up of that. This is not a religion. This is about salvation. And then he goes right into Sabbath. The concept of Sabbath. And he does it a little differently right off the bat. Y entonces trae aquí, después del asunto de salvación, que esto no es religión, esto es salvación. Entonces trae inmediatamente el asunto del sábado, y lo trae de una forma diferente. No es el día sábado, sino es un año sabático. So now we get a different view of Sabbath, not a Sabbath day, but actually a Sabbath year. And later on, as we progress through the scripture, we're going to see that God uses the different Sabbaths. But he presents it right immediately. So again, if you're teaching something, and then you take that something, and you change it, you make it different. So it's no longer the Sabbath day, but now we have a Sabbath year. What does that tell you? What should that teach you? ¿Qué es lo que debe enseñarte si tomo un concepto que antes solamente era un día, relacionado con un día, el día sábado, y ahora estoy mencionando un año que sea sábado? What does that tell you about sábado? ¿Qué es lo que dice de sábado que te está enseñando? And realize that the Hebrew for day is not day, really. The Hebrew that is translated into day and used for day, even in Hebrew, does not really mean day. It's only taken as day. It's understood as day. But it's contextually understood as day. So let me explain that. La palabra usado en hebreo que nosotros vemos traducido como día, no en sí no quiere decir día, sino que se entiende que es día por el contexto. Pero que realmente esa palabra literalmente no quiere decir día, aunque y hay personas que pueden decir, no, mi maestro en hebreo que sabe mucho hebreo, él dijo que esa palabra sí es día. No, es lo que tú tienes que entender, que es tomada como día, pero literalmente no es día. So the word is taken as day, That is the custom. That is the tradition. That has been a long time tradition. That word mean day. But it is not the only usage of the word. So therefore that word cannot mean day. If the word is used also for a year, or to implies a year, then is it a day? No. How do we say day for a year? You understand what I'm saying? So you understand? So this is what's happening. And we see here that he applies the Sabbath not to a day, but to a year. So aquí vemos que Dios usa el sábado no para el día, sino para un año. Porque en la palabra yom, que es la palabra traducida en día, quiere decir literalmente periodo de tiempo. Puede ser día, puede ser un par de días, puede ser un mes, puede ser un año, puede ser 10 años. Yom es un periodo de tiempo. Se traduce día porque está hablando de día y noche, día y noche, día y la noche. So, entonces eso es un día, right? So, por eso lo están diciendo que es un día, pero la palabra en sí no quiere decir día, quiere decir periodo de tiempo, literalmente. So, puede ser cualquier periodo de tiempo definido por otros factores. So the word in Hebrew is yom. That's the key word and the focal word. Yom does not mean day. It's taken as day. It's traditionally used for day in its context, because it was used in Genesis 1. The day, the night and day were the first yom, the first day. You see? So that's why they say it's day. It's day. But yom means a period of time. It's indefinite. Not that the period of time is indefinite. The period is definite. But it's not just a day. It could be a week. It could be a month. It could be 3 days. It could be 7 days. It could be 14 days. It depends on what is the period. See? It could be 9 months. The birth yom. The birthing process yom is a period of time. The 9 months gestation of a human being in the womb of its mother. El tiempo de gestión de la crianza, o sea, ¿cómo se llama? El desarrollo de un feto en el vientre de su madre. Y entonces 9 meses, que es lo común. Eso también es un yom. Son 9 meses de ser preñada, de esperando ese nacimiento de ese niño. Eso es un yom. Cuando el doctor te pone en el hospital que ya va a parir en un periodo de tiempo, eso es un yom. El yom de labor, de los tiempos ¿cómo se dice? De parir. Eso es un yom también. ¿Cuánto tiempo es? No se sabe. Cuando sucede, pero es un yom. You see? So, eso es la palabra yom, así se usa. Y entonces aquí, el sábado, entonces cuando Dios habla de sábado, then when God speaks to the Sabbath and then He applies it to a year, you have to come to the understanding that Sabbath is not a day. Sabbath is a thing. That's what you got to understand. The Sabbath is a thing. It's not a day. Entonces hay que realizar que el sábado es una cosa, no es un día. Right? Pero los religiosos enfocan en el día y no en la cosa. And that's what's going on. They focus, the religious people, they focus on the day, but not on the thing. And that's where the problem lies. Like God said, don't make a religion, because when you make a religion, you make mistakes. You already made a mistake. But everything else that follows, all the other considerations, are tainted with the wrong viewpoint, with the wrong emphasis. Like in that example, you put more attention on the day than on the thing itself, the Shabbat, what it is, not the day, what it is. El religioso enfatiza en el día en vez en el sábado, en lo que es, y por eso pierde la enseñanza de Dios cuando Dios está hablando claramente y no se entiende de la manera que debe estar entendiendo. Okay, so here we go. So he goes and he tells us what Sabbath is. This is the explanation of Shabbat. When someone comes to you and asks you or says, hey, because this was a question that came, I think it was last night, and I answered it with this verse. Somebody was asking, this is a very common question being asked by Seventh-day Adventists principally. And the question that they ask, knowing that no Christian can come up with the answer except for moi, they asking, where does it say in the Bible that the Sabbath day was abolished? La pregunta que hacen los adventistas es una pregunta que hacen a los cristianos en su debate, porque ellos saben que los cristianos no pueden traer una respuesta a esa pregunta menos hasta que me encuentran a mí. Y entonces ellos preguntan, ¿dónde dice la Biblia, el texto bíblico que dice la Biblia que el sábado fue abolido? Okay. Y lo que quiere decir que no se tiene que uno guardar el sábado ya. Eso es lo que quieren decir, right? Pues quieren el texto que diga que no tienen que, entonces, no tienen que observar el sábado. Eso es lo que quieren. So, of course, I come in with this verse, and that's why I'm making focus on this verse today, because it is a direct answer to that question that no one's able to answer. None of the Christians are able to. You're listening to this today. You got it. You got what no one else got. Okay? There it goes. Exodus 21. Exodus 21, and it's verse 2. That's it. 21 verse 2. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, esto es la respuesta a esto, Hebreo, Éxodo 21 verso 2. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th, Shebili, he shall go out free for nothing. The 7th time period is the Shabbat. That's the Shabbat year. And this is telling us what Shabbat, what the purpose of Shabbat is. It's to stop from the work. And right here, God is telling you what is that work. And this is amazing because most of the Seventh-day Adventists, they really don't see work in the proper perspective. Work is a result of sin. That was one of the curses that God gave Adam. By the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. Right? So this is 6 years of work. 6 years of the sweat of your brow because of the sin of Adam. But on the Shabbat year, in the 7th year, you shall go out free. En 6 años trabajará. El trabajo vino a causa del pecado de Adán. Véase Génesis. Y véase que Dios castigó a Adán diciendo, por el sudor de tu frente comerá pan. Ese es el trabajo. Y la mayoría de adventistas no entienden que el trabajo es un castigo de Dios al hombre por su pecado. ¿Ok? Para que entonces el sábado sea una reverencia, un reconocimiento del rescate de Dios del pecado. Porque en el sábado, en el año séptima, el hombre haber trabajado como esclavo por 6 años es dejado libre. Claramente, totalmente libre. Así que el Shabbat, el sábado, el periodo séptima, tiene que ver con la liberación del hombre de trabajo, de su pecado. It has to do, the 7th time period, the 7th Yom, has to do directly to freeing man from sin. That is what the 7th Yom represents. Freedom from man's sin. So, if you are free, and this is the key here, if you are free, what happens in the next 7th year? Si tú eres libre, ahora vamos a seguir, porque uno tiene que pensar las cosas. Si tú eres libre, no eres esclavo, ya tú saliste, después de 6 años de trabajo, ya saliste. Ahora en 7 años más, ¿qué sucede el 7º año? Porque estas cosas hay que pensarlas. What happens in 7 years? Did you guess? I hope you didn't say Sabbath again. You know why? Because you're not a slave any longer. So there is no more Shabbat for you. Because you're not a slave. You are free. The Shabbat, once you are set free, you don't need the Shabbat any longer. You are Shabbated. You are still in Shabbat. You have been set free and remain so. The only way to Shabbat again is to go back into slavery. Así que la única manera de entrar o volver otra vez al Shabbat es de volver a la esclavitud una vez más y permanecer ahí. Si tú quieres seguir en sábado, observando el sábado, entonces tienes que volver y meterse otra vez en la esclavitud, siempre. Volver a lo mismo. Después de sábado vuelves a esclavizarte en el pecado. That's the little detail. Now this is again, what are these? Don't forget what these are. These are the judgments. You see it right up there. Read it there. Everybody together. Now these are the judgments. Estos son los decretos. These are the judgments. Estos son los decretos de Dios. ¿Sí? Estos son los decretos que expondrá ante de ellos. And we already studied what the judgments meant, what they mean, what they're based on. Ya hemos estudiado en qué se basa los decretos, que son sobre los estatutos de Dios. So what are the statutes? They're the standing orders. They're the standing rules of this universe. God created the heavens and earth. These are the standing regulations. Estas son las regulaciones, las leyes con que se regula todo lo que está en el universo. Esto es que no se pueden abolir. Exactly right. See, because the Sabbath cannot be abolished, but the reasons for it can be. That's the right question and answer. Así que el sábado no puede ser abolida, pero las razones por la necesidad sí pueden ser. Porque you can see here clearly that if you're not a slave, are you getting out free in 7 years? You're already free. So therefore, does that apply to you? No. See how that works? So that is the right question. And that is the answer right there. Y aquí es, tú sabes, después que tú estás libre, tú no eres esclavo, el Shabbat no aplica a tu vida. Así que eso es la verdadera respuesta. So here you have it. You have what no other Christian has, is the answer to that question. Plus a correction to the thinking. Because what you will find, and this is where a lot of people get fooled by these false religions and erroneous interpretations of Scripture, is that they create questions. The Muslims do this a lot too. They create questions that are based on wrong concepts. And they throw you as a Christian off base because you say, you're trying to take their question as valid. There is such a thing, listen to this, because you guys have to understand something. There is such a thing as an invalid question. A wrong question. A question based on wrong thinking. And you need to be able to identify that. Because that's a little trick that these guys use. They learn the wrong things. And because you learn falsehood and wrongness, you formulate questions that are totally off base. And if you as a Christian don't know how to respond, how to catch that, you know, your question is ill-formed. That question is ill-formed. And it comes from wrong thinking. You're under the impressions that X, Y, Z, and that's not the fact. So let's correct the impression first before we correct that question, the right question that it should be. So this is the example. This is a case in point for that. Esto es un gran ejemplo de una táctica usada por muchas personas en error, por falsos religiones, falsos maestros, que es que ellos desarrollan unas falsas ideas, conceptos, y sobre esas falsas conceptos, entonces la persona, ellos mismos, o las personas que ellos enseñan, sus discípulos, entonces formulan preguntas que están mal formadas. Quiere decir que están basadas sobre falsedad. Entonces tienen pregunta que en realidad no se debe contestar. Porque es una pregunta que es falsa, es basado sobre un establecimiento falsa, un concepto o preconcepto. Las preguntas tienen preconceptos por naturaleza. Questions have preconcepts by their very nature. See? So the question is formulated on preconceptions, on notions that they have. So because they have those preconceptions or notions, they formulate a question. But you as you are a child of God, you need to catch where a question is based on the wrong thing. That's why Jesus always had to do what he did. Jesus always asked them another question because their questions were based on the wrong premises. The questions they were posed to Jesus were based on misconcepts and preconcepts which were false and erroneous. and at best human. See? And Jesus would have to give them another question to force them to reanalyze their question, to reposition themselves. Wait a minute, there's this other question he's posing. Now answers, corrects my thinking behind the question that I was posing. See, that's why Jesus did what he did. And a lot of people still don't understand, why did Jesus ask questions in answering other people's questions. And the reason is the perfect teaching tool. The perfect teaching, and that is, right? You want to talk about God now? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. God does things perfectly. Everything is perfect. So Shabbat. Everything is perfect. These are his judgments. Perfect. Perfect. He's teaching. See? And sometimes when God is teaching, often, I should say, not sometimes, but oftentimes that he's teaching, it gets complicated. But it is the perfect form. Dios es perfecto, y cuando Dios está enseñando, muchas veces es complicada. La manera que Él explica las cosas, que Él deja entender las cosas, muchas veces es una forma complicada, pero es perfecta. That's the one thing about it. And I love it when I started seeing these are the judgments. I said, this is beautiful. Because the judgments just immediately bring so much in to a judgment. That's what it is. There's a lot there. It's a lot there. See? And we're supposed to take it and we're supposed to think about this, so that we can get and start understanding the judgments and the statutes, the underlying truths that form the basis of this judgment. That's what the statutes are. And that's why you see we need to understand it. Because when we understand now that the Shabbat, the seventh Yom is a teaching of freedom from sin, because it's been drilled into us already. 6 days ye shall work because of sin. The seventh, you shall be set free. You shall be set free. But once you're free, what happens? He just tells you here. That's it. Because that was the purpose of it. Now there's other things that you can do. But why do you tell Israel to do this all the time? That's another issue. Remember, we dealt with that already. By the way, if you're asking that question now, you need to go back in the teachings, if you can find them on Facebook. You need to go back and see the teaching on Exodus 19. The Exodus 19, which is before the Ten Commandments, God tells you why he told Israel what he told them. There's a reason, a very specific reason, and it's there. And that's why Israel has to do what they have to do. Okay? But a lot of people are not understanding the reason why. They're just saying that God said to do this. And you have two groups of people. The people who think that everyone has to do it, the whole world. And then those who say, no, only Israel gets this because only Israel is saved. See, two erroneous positions based on not understanding God in Exodus 19. Just simply they don't understand. Así que hay dos posiciones. Si uno pregunta ahora, ¿y por qué Dios dijo que hay que guardar el sábado? Dijo, recuerde el día sábado, ¿verdad? En los 10 mandamientos. Entonces, para eso, tiene que volver a la enseñanza, quizá en Facebook está todavía una enseñanza de Éxodo 19. En Éxodo 19, Dios dice claramente el por qué Israel tiene que hacer estas cosas. Y hay dos campos de personas que creen diferente. Un grupo de personas creen que Dios dio todo esto a todo el mundo, toda la humanidad tiene que hacer lo que Dios dijo allí en Éxodo 20. Y entonces hay otro grupo que dice que solamente Israel tiene que hacer esto porque solamente Israel es salvo. O sea que solo los salvos son Israel. Y por eso solamente Israel tiene que hacer esto. Solo dos grupos están equivocados. Sencillamente. Y están equivocados porque no entienden en realidad la manera que Dios está hablando en Éxodo 19. Y no entienden nada. Éxodo 20 no lo entienden. Punto. Y esto no lo van a entender. Porque no están tomando religiosamente. Todos esos puntos que estoy dando ahí. Todos esos puntos. La perspectiva. Recuerdo lo que pasó con Moisés y cuando Dios clarificó en Éxodo 20. Eso es lo que está pasando aquí también. Esto es el problema. Que Dios hace una cosa por un propósito, pero el hombre lo ve de una forma diferente. Y casi siempre esa forma es religiosa y legalista. Mientras que Dios tiene otro propósito. Sencillamente. That's the way it is. Okay. So as we did probably show you this last time, is your purchase of benefit must be exhausted in the 6th year. Now these are other statutes. In other words, these are other ideas that come from this judgment, meaning that that whatever we do, this is for a greater expanded teaching here. This other point that I bring out of this judgment, that whatever you purchase for benefit, because now we're not even dealing with the man as a man, we're dealing with something that is purchased for your benefit, for financial benefit, for whatever other benefit. You are purchasing something for your benefit, that the proper perspective to have, the standing rule is that you have to exhaust that benefit by the 6th year. By the 6th year, the benefit of it is exhausted. And I think if you look at a lot of things, you can pretty much agree with that. By 6 years of having anything, of having bought something and having used it, and you had it for 6 years, it's pretty much you have gotten the juice, the benefit out of whatever it is, as a general rule. Como una regla general, una de las enseñanzas que se puede tomar del verso 2 de Éxodo 21 es que si tú compras algo para su beneficio, para cualquier beneficio, que lo que el jugo de eso, la sustancia, su esencia, su beneficio mayor, debe ser extinguida, o sea, consumida para el año sexto. O sea que ya puede ser en un año que lo extingue, que lo consume, puede ser segundo, para el tercero, pero definitivamente para el sexto año. Al final del sexto año ya debe de haber tenido su gusto, su placer, su beneficio de aquel cosa que compraste. ¿Ok? Para entonces, en el séptimo año, soltar. So it's basically teaching an interesting concept that I don't think most of us think about at all. That of extracting benefit of a thing that we purchase for 6 years. Pretty much 6 years, up to the 6th year, you should have, and it doesn't mean that you need to hold on to something for 6 years. No, you can consume it in 1 year. You can consume it in a day, for that matter. You can consume it in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But definitely through the 6th year, you should finish consuming and benefiting from whatever you got purchased. And on the 7th year, it should be loosed. And that's a basic sixth and a seventh year Shabbat teaching pertaining to most things that we can purchase, that we purchase on it, particularly that we purchase, things that you buy. And again, it also teaches that the things you buy, you should buy. What does it tell you there? See, these are the reasons that we need to look at what God is teaching us, because He's teaching us a lot of things. And that's why He used the judgment to do that with, ¿sí? El juicio, cuando tú ves los decretos de Dios, Dios usó los decretos para un propósito muy bueno, y para enseñarnos mucho en poco. En pocas palabras nos enseñan bastante. Con este versículo aquí podemos también extraer, y aquí lo tengo en inglés, no lo tengo en español, pero aquí podemos extraer que tu compra, algo que tú compras para beneficio, o sea que tú debes comprar cosas para beneficio, no debes de comprar cosas que no hay beneficio, no tiene lógica, ¿verdad? Pero compra lo que hay beneficio, y que ese beneficio debe ser extinguida para el séptimo año, o sea, para los años 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ya tú debes tener todo sacado del gusto, del placer, del gozo, del beneficio, consumirlo, para ya durante el sexto año ya terminar con el consumo de esos beneficios, la realización de esos beneficios. Así que básicamente Dios está diciendo que si tú compras algo, tú compras lo que te beneficie, y que ese beneficio lo consume límite de 6 años, o sea que 6 años, o sea 7 años, pero durante el sexto año lo que falta de consumir, debe de consumirlo, porque en el séptimo año tienes que desalojarse de ella. So basically what it's telling us is that we should only purchase things that we will get a benefit from within the 6-year period. Nosotros lo que nos está enseñando con esto es que debemos de comprar cosas que nos beneficia en los primeros 6 años. Que el beneficio mayor lo tengamos en los primeros 6 años. Anytime. 6 years. You have to take out whatever benefit you have from. And if you think about it, we won't do it now, but it's a thing that for you to think about when you're looking at buying things. And this should help you make better decisions on what to buy. Esto debe de darte mejor ayuda y guía en términos de qué se debe de comprar y manejar o dirigir su administración de cosas, de propiedades, de bienes y raíces, de muchas cosas. Usted debe de realizar beneficio. This could be like if you're going to buy a business, for example, that's one application. If you're going to buy a business, si va a comprar un negocio, por ejemplo, esto te enseña que debes de tener ganancia en los primeros 6 años. So what this is trying to show you is that if you're going to buy a business, let's say it's an ongoing business, that you should see profit. You should see the return of your investment and profits within the first 6 years. So that would be an example of how to apply the statute to your everyday living. It's a statute. It's something that God has established. Because really, and what is He saying? That a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen. And in the business environment as well, a lot of things can happen. You know, in the course of time. And so if you, with your wise, because you have to use your head. This is not saying don't use your head, just buy anything. No, no, no. You need to choose well. But realize that no matter how well and perfectly you choose, you should choose based on I'm going to get all my profit that I'm looking for in the first 6 years. Everything else is extra. Everything else, if I keep it or whatever, is extra. But what I'm buying this for is for what it's going to do for me between now and 6 years. So lo que está diciendo aquí este estatuto es que lo que tú compres, después que tú que analice la cosa bien, que esto no quiere decir compre todo, no importa, 6 años, no, no. Esto quiere decir después que tú escoge bien, estudie, analice las cosas, decide con mucha inteligencia, con mucha sabiduría, el hombre más inteligente del mundo debe entonces comprar algo que él puede realizar el mayor beneficio en los primeros 6 años. Eso es todo lo que dice. No importa si tú lo tienes por toda la vida, lo pasan sus hijos, lo que sea, no importa esa cosa, sino que tú compres durante 6 años. So basically what the statute is saying is to buy knowing that it's in you're looking for a profit, the benefit in 6 years. That's it. 6 years. Anything else is cream on the top. You pass it to your family, it's a family business, you give it to your children, whatever it is. But the 6 years, you need to get out of it what you are expecting. And that's after all your research, all the good things you have to do. But 6 years is really where you need to be happy. So it doesn't matter if they change the law and your business is now losing money in the 7th year, the 8th year. That doesn't matter. You got your money. You did your thing in the first 6 years. You're happy. Sell it. Sell it. Sell off the pieces, the equipment. Sell. That's it. You got what you want 6 years. That was your plan. So it's a good thing. What God teaches is good. He's teaching you. Listen, 6 years. You got 6 years, anything. Get your money out in 6 years. That's it. Your money, your profit, what you put in, the profit, you take it 6 years. That's it. Now, it doesn't matter what happens after that. And you have nothing to complain about. My business, listen, no, nothing, no, there's nothing to complain. Hey, I got my 6 years. That's it. I got my 6 years. And right, in fact, you should sell it after that. You should get rid of it. Pass it on. Give it to some homeless fellow. Hey, listen, you know, I'm going to tell you some other things. You know, these people here, you have situations in this world. We have problems. We have homeless problems. We have the poor issue. We have a whole mess of problems in this planet. And if everyone would take the wisdom that God has given, providing, it would be a much better place. El socialismo no es bueno. Never think it. Never think it's Christian to be socialist. It's not true. It's a lie. It's a foolish thing. That's not a statute. I'm going to prove it to you here. No es un estatuto ser socialista. Es un error. Si todo el mundo hiciera las cosas como establece los estatutos de Dios, este mundo tuviera menos problemas. Siempre habrá pobre, porque el pobre verdadero es pobre, no importa. ¿Okay? Porque hay razones por eso. Pero hay mucho más pobre de lo que debe de haber. Hay mucho más casas sin hogar de lo que debe de haber. Hay mucho más miseria de lo que debe de haber. Porque muchos hombres no entienden los estatutos, no entienden la enseñanza de Dios. Y los que tienen la ley y los que tienen el sábado no entienden. So people who have the Torah
And those who emphasize obeying the law and following the Sabbath, they don't even understand these things to be able to teach. Same problem with the Hebrews. Same thing. They don't understand. You're not understanding. You're making it a religion and you're not understanding the truth. So right here, if people would do the right thing, get into a business, buy a business, and do it the right way, and get their money out in 6 years, make it work, and they get their money, and pass it on. You let it go. You take the money, you get the money. You sell it off, you pass it on, even better, to someone less fortunate, someone who just their luck hasn't helped them. And it could be somebody right there in the company, at least someone who knows what they're doing can keep it going. But someone less fortunate, it's just ridiculous. The simplicity of what God. So you see, you still have a capitalist system, but you have a system where those who can build. Usted tiene todavía con esto un sistema capitalista, pero los que pueden desarrollan, y en 6 años ya lo pasan al que no. ¿Sí? Ya ellos han sacado el beneficio, ya ellos sacaron el gusto, pues entonces lo pasan al que no. And this is a much better system. It's not socialist. It's capitalist with following God's statutes. That's what it is. It's capitalism following God's statute. So lo que yo estoy diciendo, hablando, es el capitalismo siguiendo los estatutos de Dios. Y así las personas que jamás en la vida pudieran imaginar ser dueño de una compañía, pues ya el dueño ya sacó su ganancia y hizo bien, y ya pasa a uno que ha trabajado fiel ahí por 6 años y ahora va libre. How about that, huh? You ever heard that one? It started here, folks. Remember that. It started here. Gloria a Dios. Aquí empezó primero. Okay. That will resolve a whole bunch of problems in this world. Eso resolverá muchos problemas, mucha necesidad, mucho hambre, mucho desnudez, mucho desamparado. Eso es sencillamente lo que hay que hacer. No porque el socialismo nadie tiene nada, pero todos están igual, en pobre, todos son pobres y miserables. In socialism, no one has anything, they're all poor, but you're all the same. See, socialism works if there's someone making money. But someone has to be capitalist. There has to be a capitalist nation in the world for the rest of it to be socialist, because the world cannot operate under socialism. And if you look at the economy is not just based on what's grown from the ground. Si tú ves la economía no está basado solamente en lo que crece la tierra. Nuestra economía está basada en la creatividad del hombre. A lot of our economy is really hinging on the creativity of man. Our brain power, our creativity, right? So that is not something grown. This is something that socialism can do anything with. No es algo que el socialismo puede hacer algo con eso. That's not social. You see, those things, these are with the smart guys in college. You guys are not thinking about that. You're destroying human creativity and human motivation. Usted está destruyendo la creatividad del hombre y motivación del hombre, innovación, and innovation, which is part of the combination of the two. But my system, that system, I'm going to call it mine, it's the one I'm presenting to you, is a much better system. It's better than just capitalism. It's totally better than socialism. And it's better than capitalism. And I don't know what name to call it. I'm going to do some more research to see if someone has already coined the name for that. But if not, I'm going to make a name because God showed us to that. God showed us this today, right? I'm going to create the name for it. But you know that we did it here. It's original thinking here, folks. Okay, so let's go on. Now we talked about, entonces, el verso 4, if his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, si el dueño ha dado a él una esposa. Remember que esposas eran propiedad, las hembras siempre son o eran consideradas propiedad. In the old days, the women were always considered as chattel, meaning they were property, they belonged to a man. Either it was the father, and the father transferred ownership to the husband. See? It was always, and that was always a business deal. It was never just, oh, I love him, we're in love, so we're getting married, like we have today. This is not the way it was in biblical times. Okay? So it was all an issue of ownership. And it has a basic premise in Adam and Eve. Who was Eve? Eve was not just another person. Eve was not, as if people are not understanding. Eve was Adam himself. Eve belonged to Adam because Eve was in fact part of Adam. That's mine. Someone took it out. Someone was God. He took out from me and made you. So you belong to me. You are my property because you belong to me. So that is the basic premise. Las mujeres eran siempre consideradas propiedad. Nosotros vemos que estamos enamorados, esta chica, esta mujer, o las mujeres están enamoradas de este hombre. Así no era en el pasado. Esto era asunto de propiedad. Y eso viene de Adán y Eva. Eva, ¿quién era? No era otra persona. Eva era carne y hueso de Adán. Le pertenecía a Adán. Esto se llama término de propiedad. So these are terms of ownership. When we talk about ownership, it's derived from this premise. That we are owned by our origin. The origin of us or anything is the owner of it. Ownership until they sell. I can sell what I own and I make a business transaction. Así que yo puedo vender, yo soy dueño de cualquier cosa que yo genero hasta que yo hago una negociación, un negocio con aquello. El dueño le da una esposa y tienen hijos e hijas. ¿De quién son propiedad? ¿Sí? En este caso, el propiedad es del dueño. So, sí, so this will freak a lot of you guys out. Because here, the property belongs to the owner. This was one of the fringe benefits, employee benefits. See, there's no friendship with friends with benefits there. No. It's slavery with benefits. You gotta say, you gotta put things in the right perspective, folks, or else you're gonna get, well, let's not go there, right? But listen, you have to put the owner is the one who provided the woman to this man's slave. So for this benefits, these were the employee benefits of the time. Oh man, what do you like that? You go to work and they give you a wife. That's you see, oh, they give me dental, they give me health, oh, they give me a girl, they give me a wife. Whee! Yeah, we can have some children. See, that was an employee benefit. Eso era un beneficio de empleo de que daba el dueño. Ahora, pero el beneficio se queda con el dejó gozarse de tenerlo, pero no es suyo. Pertenecía al dueño. Los dueños también daban tierra. Aquí tu tierra, trabaja esta tierra, me da tanto. Eso era esclavitud, indentured, I don't know how to say that in Spanish. Un tipo de esclavitud donde un acre, 2 acres, 3 hectáreas, lo que sea, y tú lo trabajabas como su propio finca, pero daba un tanto por ciento al dueño siempre, punto. Lo mejor, 10%, 20%, 50%, lo que era. Y entonces el resto era suyo para su familia y su otro tipo de esclavitud, pero así era. ¿De quién pertenecía la tierra? El dueño, siempre. Tú te ibas, en la tierra quedaba. That's the way it is. All right, so here we see again that so the statute from this, as we can surmise, these are an analysis of the statute. We can't say that this is the statute. We can't say that. We can only deduce, as we're supposed to, because we're given the judgment. So we're supposed to deduce from it what the statutes are. So here we see that it's the ownership of added value. Así que, and it's added value because remember, the value, and this is incredible, because remember, what did the owner give this man? He gave him a wife, right? But when this man is ready to be set free, how many souls are there? Anymore, right? If they had 3 children, 6 years, okay, 6 years you had to have at least 6 children. Come on, let's talk about this. At least 6 children. There's no TV, there's no cable. The owners would not give anyone cable. It was a complaint of the place back then. Entertain yourself after hours. So, let's say they had 6 children. Now, so listen, so the owner owns the wife and the 6 children. So you benefit from your work for the 6 years, but he also has more profit from this. See, this is the interesting thing. 6 years, when we talked about the business aspect of it, of getting all your benefit, this was part of the benefit. Que saca todo el beneficio del negocio en los 6 años. Fíjate que en este ejemplo de familia, el dueño también se multiplicó en propiedad. No solamente el trabajo del esclavo, sino también los hijos que produjo. El dueño, aunque solo tiene este esclavo por 6 años, tiene los hijos para siempre. Fíjate. Notice that this guy made a killing here. You got to look at this in a business sense. You're going to get your profit from that business. You're going to make it work. And then, by the time you're 6 years up, you had that business sprung out 6 other little businesses, 6 other types of businesses. See? Look at the thinking here. This is the strategy. Those other businesses you don't give up because they're yours, full and clear. They can stay for you forever. So what you're doing, see, this is the intelligence of this is totally mind-boggling. It's that you're purchasing the business, in the trajectory of those 6 years, one of the things that you need to do is to make sure that that business produces other businesses. Because part of getting a benefit from that company is not just profit, it's not just the money that that company generates, it's the other businesses that stores, other, what you call it, you can take a business and turn it into a franchise, for example. So even though this business, this first store, you're going to give away or sell it at the end of 6 years, but in that time you may have started all over the United States from that startup, from that one store, from that one business. Those other businesses you keep, they're not under the Shabbat statute. You see that? They're totally yours forever. This is the intelligence here. Give it up. So where's your progress? The progress is that part of the 6 years you need to be starting new businesses using that one. That's where the brilliance is in. See, you have to be smart. This is not an issue that you know, everything is done for you. In order to have the statutes of Yahweh, Jehovah, the statutes of God work for you the way they were supposed to. That's why in the final analysis, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, if you're Hebrew, if you're Jew or not. If you're not smart, you're not doing anything. Nothing is done. Nothing is accomplished. And that's the bottom line. Al fin de la cuenta, no importa si uno es judío, si uno es hebreo o no es hebreo. Si tú no tienes cabeza, no usas la cabeza, no va a prosperar. No importa, tú estás alabando al Señor, glorificando a Dios y orando a Dios. No importa si tú no usas tu cabeza. Si tú no te hacer lo que tienes que hacer, no vas a salir a nada. Nada. Punto. Porque no estás utilizando los estatutos de Dios. Simply, if you don't use the statutes of God to your favor, they will not work in your favor. Here, this slave owner, this person, this Hebrew, is doing the right thing. He gives his business that's producing for him money, he gives his business the opportunity, a wife, to reproduce, to expand, to open new businesses, to explore, or even like, you see, you know who did this to a perfect degree? The great, Monopoly. You ever play the game Monopoly? ¿Han jugado el juego Monopolio, se dice? Monopoly. Ese juego te enseña a hacer esto. The great multi-billionaires of the old days, what they did was they controlled their business. They controlled the supplies, and then they did the manufacturing, and then they controlled the distribution, and then they controlled the sales, the retail. So they controlled every part of business. That's what monopoly is. And that's what that statute allows for. That's what that statute allows you to do. You can do that according to that statute. But it also forces you as well to give up. In your mind to give up that first thing. so that it's almost a motivation, an impetus that you get your profit out and you make that business grow, so that you don't have a problem giving it up. Give it up, and it benefits the nation. It benefits your nation. That is the dream of socialism, but running as in capitalism. See, it's sharing, it's giving what you've developed, and that central thing, that first thing, and giving to someone is another opportunity, so that they can do what? They didn't buy it, but if they did buy it from you, then they have 6 years to do the same thing. Así que el que te lo compra, tiene 6 años, es lo mismo. Y si no se ha comprado, tú lo regalaste a esa persona, la persona lo puede tener para siempre, un regalo. Ayuda a otros. And the other thing that it helps is that you, as a creator and developer, you're free to do other things or to concentrate on those other businesses. But again, what should you always be doing? You're not required. I mean, the statute is not necessarily applicative in that second degree, but it's still wise. It's still wise. The statute is still wise in and of itself. El estatuto, ¿qué se tiene que hacer después que uno regala o uno vende después de los 6 años? O mejor todavía es dedicarse también al estatuto, aunque no aplica ya a esta segunda nivel, no aplica ya, pero el estatuto es sabio, es sabio, es algo muy sabiduría, mucha sabiduría. Estatuto no quiere decir que no debes de usar la sabiduría, la gracia de ese estatuto a trabajar por ti. So, sigue lo mismo y sigue para allá. So again, this impacts a lot of everything. You guys are business people, they run with it, but it just goes to show you that the Word of God has everything. It does cover every aspect of human life. So, work product by slave during ownership period belongs to the owner. So, whatever you do, and this is true, es verdad que el trabajo que tú hagas, trabajando por tu jefe, pertenece a tu jefe. Ese es el estatuto. So, the statute is that anything you do under the employment of your boss belongs to your boss. That belongs to the owner, especially any product of interaction by the slave, by the employee, with the added value provided by the owner. So, si el dueño te da algo para ayudarte a hacer algún trabajo y tú haces otro tipo de trabajo por ley, el dueño, esa cosa pertenece al dueño. You really shouldn't be doing that. And this is where a lot of people get into trouble with God. Believe it or not, you guys, you can be Christian, you can be a law follower, you can be a Sabbath keeper, and you're working for someone else. You do something with that computer, and you making money with that computer, that belongs to your boss. And that you don't give it to your boss or tell him that you're making and he gives you, he says, okay, take that or give me half. If he doesn't square with you what you do, from the computer that the boss gave you, okay, to work, that's his property, You are stealing. And then there's punishment by God for your stealing. And people wondering why they don't get prosperity. Poverty preacher, right? Okay, that's it. You're going to call me a prosperity teacher because I mentioned prosperity and being blessed. So now I'm a poverty preacher. Is that more like it to you for you socialists out there? This is silliness. Okay, so now let's talk about being poor. You're poor because you work for God and robas. Tú le robas, él te está pagando la hora para tu trabajo. Y esa hora tú no estás trabajando, tú estás robando. So who do you think is going to charge you for that? But you're not working that hour. That's thievery. And it's sad how many Christians are actually thieves. Ay, alábalo si puede. Praise him if you can. If you can. From their bosses. And that shouldn't be a shock to you because before you stole from your boss, you stole from God. Antes que tú robaste a tu jefe, tú robaste a Dios. Ustedes están robando a Dios en la ofrenda, en los diezmos. Because the ones who steal from God, they also steal from their bosses. They'll steal from anyone. So it's not a mystery. Esto no es un misterio. You're trying to figure why are these things happening to me? Why, if I'm getting less than before, you get the first check. Está dando quejas, cómo te defrauden, cómo te cortan aquí, cómo te cortan allá. Y lo primero que tienen que analizar es dónde tú cortaste a Dios. Es lo primero. No sea autojustificador. No te justifiques. Find yourself and indignant of why this guy and everyone else is defrauding you. First look at where you have defrauded the Lord. First look. And then you'll see where the reasons for that come in. Now, just this morning, he was a little upset at whatever situation, his environment, and then he goes down to eat, and we always teach you got to pray to God before you eat. So we didn't hear anything. He's like, but don't have an issue with God, because if you think I'm bad, you just wait to see when you get on God's bad side. And we heard that prayer ring out loud. So that is the reality of things. Esta mañana se levantó un poco molesto y entonces se sentó a comer, y siempre enseñamos la oración antes de comer, y no se oyó, y se como más un queja así, y yo le dije, mira, una cosa es tener problemas, yo soy estricto. Imagínense si te cae en el otro lado de Dios, el favor de Dios. ¿Okay? Y entonces se oyó la oración amplificado. Y es así mismo. Nosotros no podemos jugar con fool with God, because sooner or later, you know what he's going to, he charges you. The statutes are there. And it's not that God has to do anything to you. It's just that you are violating statutes which are established. And you're just simply going against the stream. You're going against the flow. And all that's going to happen is you feel it later on. So it's better not to fool around with the law. No, es mejor no jugar con Dios, porque con el tiempo usted va a pagar fuertemente todo lo que hacemos contra Dios. Okay, so as I see, I've gone way past my time again. Here, and then we're going to 22 for next week, and so we continue on this. So remember, the key important things here is the great things that God is teaching us through these little things. Next week. For Gilberto Rosado Sr. And God I thank you, and God bless you in your days. Amen.